TW, smut. Underscore. YN's POV. Lucifer held my face in his hands. We were slowly gravitating towards each other. Lucy, we can't do this. I looked down to stop ourselves from becoming even closer to each other. But why can't we? He backed away a little. You know why, Lucifer, just stop. His hands fell from my face when I said this. I felt guilty. I didn't want him to stop. I wanted him more than anything, but I couldn't stand being with him just to lose him again. You're right, I told you I just wanted to talk and now I'm taking it too far. Can I just see the room already? I nodded my head and unlocked the door, but when I did, the bright red of hell's sky flashed in our faces. This room was exactly like mine if it faced the opposite direction. It had that same large window that overlooked hell, but the only difference was that this one had a glass door connecting to a balcony. This is actually nicer than I thought it'll be, looks like I don't have to change it up that much. We walked around the room and Lucifer set some of his things down. Look, I know you wanted to talk, but before you say anything I just want to make it clear that I really am trying for redemption. Okay. I don't know if you believe in Charlie's cause that much, but I do, or at least I try. I just, really want it to work. And why would you need to change up the room? You're only staying for a day or two. I only said that cause I had no real plan. But if I'm being honest, I'll stay however long you want me to. What? Lucifer's face turned more serious before he spoke. Do you really think I'll just leave you with some creep that gloats about how he's gonna take your soul? No. You and I both know that I care about you too much to let anything happen to you. I'm gonna protect you, YN, no matter what. Whether we're together or if you never want to see me again, I'll keep you safe. He held my hand as he said this. You have no idea how much he scared me, Lucifer, thank you? But, how did you know what happened the other night? Look, after what took place so long ago, I still wanted to see you. I thought maybe if we could just keep our relationship a secret it might work out. I used my powers to find you, but when I did, you weren't doing well. Okay, but how did you know what happened the other night? I got a little annoyed. I mean, I didn't mind hearing how he still cared for me when I felt my lowest, but goddamn, what did that have to do with anything? Since I saw you again the other day I couldn't stop thinking about you. You were always good at that, staying in my head. I started to get reminded of our life back then, and the love we shared for one another. I couldn't help feeling how I felt so long ago, both the love and the loss. So you decided to watch me? I looked to my side as I heard noise coming from downstairs. Just like from when we first broke up, I was worried. I needed to see how you were doing, but when I saw that Red not doing what he did to you, it was even more of a reason for me to come. I think Charlie and Vaggie returned, we should head down. We exited the room and walked side by side until we reached the top of the stairs. Flashback? YN's POV. We were still on the swings. I felt so comfortable with Lucifer now that I opened up a bit more about my life. Lucifer? I looked over to him and his hat was covering half his face. Yes, YN. I think I love you. He looked up when I said this, revealing his face. He then got up from his swing and stood right above me. He knelt down to me, taking his hat off and placing it on my head. I love you too. He grabbed both the sides of the brim on my head and tugged them towards himself, pushing my face into his. I pushed towards him as well, causing him to get on a knee to hold himself up. I slowly got off the swing and pushed him backwards until he was laying on the floor. Our clothes were still on and I was sitting on his lower half, moving my hips back and forth, leaning down to kiss him. After a few minutes our hands mated underneath each other's shirts, he unclipped my bra and I felt his lower core. I moved my body on top of him, pushing against him as I felt my attraction finally being solidified. Lucifer, I'm ready. After I said this he pulled one of his hands from under my shirt and reached for my hand, slowly leading it to his zipper. When my hand reached his lower region, I carefully pulled down the zipper. My heart was beating fast, this was actually happening. I reached to pull my own pants down, but when I did they just disappeared. I gasped and sat up from on top of him. I was met with a sly smirk. I lowered my face to his again and he felt my waist as I did so. Before I knew it he was inside of me. I got chills as I felt pleasure reach my body. He was so warm. He tugged my body towards himself, wrapping his arms around me and he pushed himself inside of me. We continued to kiss even though we were breathing hard. We both laid on our backs when we were finished, out of breath, looking up at the red sky. We held each other's hand. I had never, in either my life or my afterlife, felt so at peace. I giggled a little to myself. What? Lucifer probably thought I went mad for a second just laughing by myself. I tilted my head to the side giving a smile to Lucifer, that took us so long to finally do. Ha ha, you're right, I guess I just like to take it slow. I don't see a problem with that, to be honest, it made me want you more, and it made this so much more enjoyable Tilda. He tilted his head up off the ground for a moment, smiling as he talked. I think I just fell even more for you. I grabbed his hat and put it over his face after her said this. Don't fall too far down, you might reach a new underworld. He lifted his hat off his face and nodded his head grinning after I said this. Not that you belong in one, not after how you just made me feel. Well then, should we do it again? I don't see why not. Flashback ended still YN's POV. Lucifer and I started to head down the stairs when we saw Charlie and Vaggie. Everyone was surrounding them. Charlie. Lucifer expanded his wings and flew down to greet his daughter, of course, leaving me. Dad, what are you doing here? Charlie spoke with utter confusion. I realized how much I was missing out of your life when I saw you the other day, and I wanna be a bigger part of it, Charlie. I'm thinking I'm gonna start staying here more often. Maybe I can help out a bit. Oh, wow Dad, thanks but we're really doing fine here. Alastair is taking good care of us. Is he though? I could only see the back of his head, but I can tell Lucifer rolled his eyes as he said this. What is that supposed to mean? Yes he is, so sorry you're all of a sudden feeling bad for yourself when you see someone else step up to help me when you could have been doing the same thing all along. Charlie was breathing hard, she was on the verge of tears. Oh, well, if you really don't want me here then I'll leave, if that's what you want. Lucifer backed away from Charlie as he said this. No, sorry Dad, just the meeting didn't go so well. She then looked up at Vaggie next to her. I'm tired, I need to go to bed. Charlie, wait. Just let me explain. Vaggie started to frantically chase her. No Vaggie. Just let me be. We all watched in sheer confusion, and Vaggie paused from chasing her. Angel spoke up after Charlie left. Care to explain what happened, Vag? Angel seemed mad at her. We were all surprised when Vaggie admitted she was an exorcist angel. I looked for Lucifer to see if he knew, since he was also a fallen angel, but I noticed that he left the room. We all kind of walked away disappointed when Vaggie admitted who she was. Angel headed off to work not long after, so I just stayed by the bar. I didn't feel like going to my room. I sat in silence just thinking about what happened between me and Lucifer earlier. Don't mind me budging, but what was going on between you and Lucifer earlier? I looked up, surprised when I heard Husk speak. Oh, I thought for a second. Husk isn't like Angel Dust, actually quite the opposite. I feel a strange layer of trust around him, like he wouldn't tell anyone if I admitted the truth about me and Lucifer's past. We were in love. He had paused what he was doing, wide-eyed at what I just said. Ha, I could tell. He smirked a little, looking down and continuing to wipe a glass with a towel. What? Oh, don't act surprised. I've lived my fair share too, you know. I can tell when I see two people with chemistry they don't know what to do with. But how did you know? Please, like you two weren't all over each other every time he's been here. Anyone with common sense could tell you guys were more than just a little familiar with each other. Oh God, how do you think Charlie would respond to this? It's not like I could admit it to her right now, she seems mad. Yeah, I would probably wait a bit for that, just don't be so obvious right now. I guess that's smart. I paused for a moment to think, hey, I have a question. What's up? It's bad that I sometimes feel jealous of Charlie, right? I looked around to make sure no one was near us, which I should have done earlier. Without a second thought, Lucifer would choose Charlie over me. I guess I'm thinking like this because of how fast he left me earlier when he saw Charlie. Look, the man just prioritizes family, that's all. It's a good trait to have, it shows you that he's loyal. Listen, just don't read into it that much. No, yeah, you make sense, thanks Husk. You really are a wise old bartender. I smiled a little at him before telling him I was tired and would head to my room. I felt good after our conversation, like I finally lifted a weight off my chest, like I finally found someone who I could trust. By the time we stopped talking, it was nighttime. I headed up the stairs and walked through the dimly lit hallway. I walked in my room and got ready for bed, then I heard it. This time, I knew it was actually him. The second I opened my door, the fiddle sound got louder. It was no longer coming from that room down the hall, and instead from the door right in front of me, Lucifer's door. I started to rethink if I should go inside. What if something could happen between us? I would feel so guilty if I disrupted Lucifer's family. Nevertheless, what would happen to me? I looked through the side crack of the door, he left it unlocked. I was breathing heavily, backing up as I reached for my door handle behind me. I was about to open my door, but I noticed the violin changing pace. It slowed down, and started playing a song. It was that same love song I sang in the car when we watched the sunrise. I loved him, I still loved him, and I was tired of putting that feeling down. After all the years of constantly reminding myself to not think of him, to not be in love with him, to go to heaven 'cause that's where I'll find love again, I was finally ready to listen to my heart. I slowly opened the door. Lucifer? I walked further in, looking at all of his belongings now situated in the room. The violin sound was louder, but it still felt distant. I noticed it was coming from outside, it was coming from the balcony, but there wasn't anyone on it. I decided I'd get some fresh air anyways, however fresh hell's air can get. I opened the glass door. I was back at Lucifer's palace, standing right outside of the maze. The sun was setting. So why do you think everyone has such a negative view of you? It was my own voice. I looked to my side and there I was, walking out of the maze with Lucifer. Flashback? Yin's POV. 'Cause they only see black and white. They thought that since I betrayed heaven with my ideas I was immediately a terrible person. They created lies about me, which spread through generations of angels, which only made them worse, eventually spreading them to the living world. When I first heard of you I was told you were some ugly beast. Haha, you're definitely not ugly. I hope I'm not a beast either. No, but you're still pretty demonic. We laughed a little when I said this. We walked up a small hill in one of the gardens to watch the sunset. This was when I realized that we haven't left each other's side for the entire day. Every minute of the day we were together. We found a beautifully carved bench at the top of the hill. I rested my head on his shoulder. Part of his hat was blocking the sunset, but I didn't care. He placed his arm around me. When the sun disappeared, Lucifer spoke. May I ask you something? You don't have to reply if you don't want to. What is it? How did you die? Flashback ended. Still Yin's perspective. Yin? I look behind me to find Lucifer staring at me. Lucifer? I don't know why I'm in here. I'll get out. I tried to step off the balcony, but Lucifer quickly blocked me. No, stay. You're not intruding or anything. Trust me, I am. Trust me, you're not. He smiled after he said this, closing the glass door behind him and leaving us alone on the balcony, looking over the glowing city lights of hell.